the time being. It's Question Thursday. And I'm actually surprised people asked questions. I thought this was going to be a big flop, and I would just be like, oh, it's Thursday, and I'm going to make up stuff now. But I actually had some questions, and I'm impressed. Thank you for asking them. On my Facebook page, at Facebook.com/anxietyfree2012, I was asked by my good Irish friend if how my family, he was wondering how my family have dealt with my anxiety as I grew up, and if I'm from a large family, and did I find good support from them, or I should have read this before I turned on the camera. I did read it, but should have read it through again. Okay, we'll start with the first part of that question, then we'll read the rest. I have to remember the first part of the question. This is a fail. So, my family didn't really know about my anxiety. My mom actually watches these videos, and she hasn't subscribed yet. Great support, Mom. But, she watches these videos, so does my dad, and they're surprised about all the stuff they're learning about me. I hid my anxiety so much because I was afraid of looking like the weird one or looking like the weak one, and I was just scared to show them what I really was. I mean, I was a timid person. I was very closed, kind of like a big personal bubble, don't want people to get close to me, very, kind of just inside myself type person, and they knew that, and they just didn't know about my anxiety because I never shared it with them, and it's just, I'm so good at hiding it that people think I'm just like a normal person, or maybe just a little bit shy. They never knew the extent of my anxiety. I am from a very large family. My dad had been married 3 times. He had 2 kids with one of his wives, I can't remember, and my mom had a kid. And then when they got married, they had 5 kids. So my siblings, and then I have half siblings, and then my nephew, who pretty much we raised, he's 10 years older than me. I'm not going to get into that, but I have altogether 9 siblings, and I'm not the oldest by far. I'm the second to youngest. I have a younger brother who is turning 21. Yeah, he's turning 21 this June. I can't believe it. I just can't believe we're all, like, past our teenagehood into adulthood type things, and I have 4 sisters and 4 brothers. I count my nephew as a brother. I always have, so, yeah, I come from a very large family, and, I have never tried to deal with my anxiety problems. He asked if I had any good, just general support available to me or from my family or in school, and I never dealt with my anxiety. My way of dealing with it was not dealing with it. I just let it come in waves, and sometimes it'd be really bad, and then it would get really good, and I'm like, oh, I'm over it, then get really bad and get really good. And I never accepted it as something that I needed to get over until recently, until I started these vlogs. And I'm like, I'm done doing this. I'm done living my life like this. I'm going to get better. And I was only, I'll bring this up later because I was asked about school too. I was only in public school from kindergarten to 5th grade. From 6th grade to graduation, I was homeschooled. And it wasn't for my anxiety or anything. It was actually something my brother caused, a chain reaction that made me and my older brother just got in trouble in school. And so my mom's like, I'm just going to homeschool the last 3 of them. And so I was homeschooled from 6th grade till I graduated. So that's me answering his questions. I hope I answered him well. I'm going to go on to the next one. Asks, what was your time in school like considering your anxiety? And since I was only from kindergarten on to 5th grade, I only had like, what, a couple years of school under my belt, like public school. Schooling was always, it was very, very hard for me. I can hear my son in the background bouncing. He's really tired and he's making his tired noise, so it's distracting because I want to go and pick him up and put him to bed, but it's too early. So I'm trying to let him balance it out. Anyways, sorry. School was hard for me with my anxiety because I've kept my anxiety such a secret. People thought I was just a really, really, really just shy girl. And anytime I got really, really anxious, and it's still like this, and this is too much for information. I'm just going to say this in the best way I can. My way of reacting with most of my anxiety, especially in social situations, if it gets really, really bad, or like just, it's mostly with social situations, I have to use the bathroom in a very urgent way, and it's not to pee. That being said, you're getting to know me, but I'm better. Anyways, that being said, I had to use the bathroom a lot because it was a stress thing, and I never ate as a kid, so I was always feeling dizzy because I was never ate, but I was using the bathroom a lot because of my anxiety. So, I remember getting in trouble because the teachers thought I was just trying to skip out on classwork, but I was too scared to. I always felt like I was going to get in trouble if I answered something wrong or had a question. So, and then I'd get really, really nervous and have to go to the bathroom, and then I'd get yelled at by a teacher saying, "No, you can't use the bathroom. You just went like 2 times now." And that led to bigger problems. I never soiled myself that way, but it just led for me being sick. I always felt sick all the time, and during school, I have a little bit of a learning delay, I guess. I had to go through some, not special ed classes, but just some kind of just help classes. Or I have dyslexia and also dyscalculia. That's like dyslexia with numbers. And I didn't know that until I got into my college classes, or not college classes, but my GED classes. And so reading and writing and numbers, which is most of school, was really, really difficult. And so they thought I was slow. And I knew I wasn't slow, but they put me in the slow areas. Like you know how in class you have the normal kids and then the group of kids that have to have the special. We had the red books, the red reading books or whatever, and the like we had colors, but we were smart. We knew that the ones that had the red were the slower ones, the special ones, and I don't know. It was a very hard time because I had myself questioning, am I slow, like mentally? And you know, I know deep down inside I wasn't, but it was just a hard time because I got teased a lot. They've been looking for a job for 7 months, and the anxiety is seriously getting in the way of finding one, and I was wondering if I ever had anxiety that made it hard to get a job, and if I have any tips on getting past that anxiety. Yeah, I had anxiety getting a couple jobs. I've only had a handful of jobs in my life, and they never really lasted long because either I had to move or I got fired. I'll save that story for another time. It was all my fault. But anyways, I had anxiety getting a job. The worst one was when I was a waitress. I was a waitress for 9 days before I quit. The person that was teaching me how to be a waitress was a pothead, and she was high all the time, even at work, and she never taught me a thing. She'd rather sit there and talk about nothing. Actually, she wanted to talk about pot. I don't smoke that, so I don't smoke anything, so I didn't really have much to say about it. And then she got sick. She got really sick after the second day of training me. And there was only one waitress that was me that had to take care of the whole store. I had no idea what I was doing. I was never taught how to use the register, and that whole having to use the bathroom thing when I'm nervous, that kicked in majorly, and I couldn't have done that. I couldn't do that while I was working. And and the person that owned the store, she only spoke Korean. She knew no English except to insult me and tell me I was worthless in front of customers and make me cry. It was awful. And yeah, I had a lot of anxiety. I would have fits. I would have horrible anxiety attacks every morning when I had to go to work. I had to ride my bike to work. And it was horrible. And it was just a situation. I'm sure if it was a better job or just a better situation, I would have been fine. But it did make me nervous being around all those people all the time. And this is the thing about anxiety. Here, I'm going to tell you straight up. This is what I know about anxiety. Anxiety, it seems like there's this giant wall right here. You don't think that you can push past it because it's a giant wall and it's scary and it feels like a brick wall and it just feels enveloping. But you push past that wall. I'm telling you right now, you push past that wall. You push past your anxiety, just give it a little shove and it will give. And you'll be like, I didn't know that there's a world beyond this anxiety. That's how getting past your anxiety is. Your mind makes this wall, and it's ridiculous. But I'm telling you, if you push yourself just a little bit, you'll see that it's not as scary as you thought first. It's not as scary, and people want good workers, People want good workers. And I know you people out there, the ones that are watching that are anxious, you guys are good workers. You just have that one wall there in between you and your job, your dream job, or just the job you want, or just the job to get you by. You have that wall. And if you push past that wall, just push yourself a little bit. Ask a question. Do something that makes you feel anxious, but not like something that's completely terrifying to you. Just a little bit anxious. And just push past that. Just one step at a time. I'm telling you, you'll see a world of difference. Baby steps all the way until you feel comfortable enough to start getting bigger steps, and then you'll be pushing past all these walls as quick as you'll never believe that you could get past this. This is what I'm experiencing right now. I used to not be able to make phone calls. I used to have to think every step that I'm going to take when I leave the house, like every single place I'm going to take, every stop I'm going to make, everything I would go through over my head over and over again, the bad things that could happen, and I've stopped that. It's suddenly just stopped. I just pushed past that wall. It just takes one step. One step of getting, like, if you're afraid, whatever you're afraid of, like you're afraid of, I used to be afraid of going up and asking a clerk where's something at. My husband pushed me and pushed me and pushed me, and I did that. They didn't yell at me. They didn't think I was stupid. They were very helpful. And I felt absolutely just ecstatic that I did that. And then I'd do that again without my husband pushing me. And it's just, take that one small thing that you're afraid of, even if it seems like a huge thing, and just do it. Just hold your breath and just do it. And then the whole world will open up to you. And then take the next thing that you're afraid of and do it. And just, it's amazing. I just can't explain to you how amazing it is. And I hope I answered you guys' questions. And if I haven't, just message me. Or if you want a more in-depth thing, because sometimes if you want a more in-depth answer, just message me. Feel free to ask me anything, honestly. And throughout the week, just feel free to answer or ask me anything. I'm willing to answer anything, and I really hope I have answered these questions. And if I haven't, just message me, and I will try to give you a more in-depth of what I'm trying to say. Because sometimes I feel like I have all these thoughts in my head, and my voice is saying something different. But I'm going to go now so I can edit this video and put it up before midnight. It's only 9, but things happen. But things will get better.